Thanks so much, Chloe. Good morning and good evening, everyone. I'm Sachin Khurana from Quick Relations, and I'm delighted to welcome you to the second of our series of four webinars, like Chloe mentioned. Today, we are discussing the processed food products and agro commodities sector, and we really could not have asked for a better company to talk about these sectors. We have three speakers today, and all three are leaders in their own segments, and they bring extensive experience in the industry. Let me first introduce Mr. Anil Chandok from Chenab Impex. He has more than 2 decades of experience in the industry, and both him as well as the organization, they've been instrumental in facilitating trade between India and the US, and they've also seen the sector grow in its entity in India. And uh, Anilji brings deep insights into India as well as the market dynamics, plus the kind of products that have done really well in India. Our second speaker is my dear friend Yash, who leads Candor Foods. Candor is a leading importer and distributor of premium international food products in India. Again, Yash has a history of working with the US. There's a lot of trade that happens between Yash's firm and his company produces a lot of different products for retail giants in India as well as direct consumption. And then they have their own D2C model as well. And specifically under Yash's leadership, the company has grown rapidly and established a really strong distribution network across all major metros as well as non-metros in the country. Yash has also been instrumental in introducing a lot of US-based products to the Indian market. So Yash, really looking forward to your thoughts today. And finally, last but not definitely not the least, we have Saurabh Bhasin from Mega Grain Trading here. Saurabh and Mega Grain specialize in commodity, bulk, agricultural trading, and they've established themselves as really reliable partners for a lot of US exporters. And Saurabh's expertise in trading as well as commodity markets and his experience looking across the whole region, not just India, I think that's really, really beneficial, and we all will get to learn a lot today. Like Chloe mentioned, after the presentations, we will have time for a question and answer session. So in case you have any questions throughout the webinar, please put that in the chat box. And the moment the presentations are over, we'll get the speakers to answer some of those queries. And in case they can't handle that today, then of course they'll be happy to respond to you on an email or in a private conversation. But uh, definitely looking forward to the webinar and definitely looking forward to learning from each of our speakers. So without further ado, I'd request Anilji to take over and start with his presentation. Anilji, I'll be sharing your presentation and we look forward to hearing your thoughts.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's a pity that my camera doesn't seem to be working and you can't see me, but thanks for putting on the presentation. So my presentation is basically about opportunities in India and particularly in the processed food products market. Indian market is growing. Indian market is growing at about 8 to 10% per annum compound annual growth rate. And you can see on the screen, there are some figures that it has grown from food processing market has grown from 866 billion in 2022 to 1,274 billion and so on. There is an increasing demand for processed foods. Basically, as the demographics are changing, people are becoming more what should I say, westernized in the sense that they see different kind of foods now being available in retail shops, on the internet, shows like MasterChef and so on. And the government of India is putting in a lot of effort to encourage food processing because there is a lot of farm wastage of food at the farm level. So this is the first slide, and can we go on to the next one, please? So as I was saying, the key drivers of growth, they are, internet, increasing awareness, foreign travel. Foreign travel is one thing which is going on quite a lot in India. There are every year about 21 to 25 million Indians traveling overseas. And as they are traveling overseas, they come back with a taste for, acquire a taste for foreign food, and they come back and they are open to consuming the same over here. There are now hundreds of, maybe thousands of small restaurants all over India which serve cuisines other than Indian. So the availability of food is also availability of foreign foods and foreign cuisines is also a driver for this. Uh, can we go on to the next one, please? Okay, about my company, we started in 2020, 2002, and we are working with more than 115 supply partners from all over the world. We import and distribute foods, additives, equipment, wines and spirits. Just to give you an example from the US, we are working with US Durham for food ingredients, Polyscience and Camerons for equipment, Crane Lake and Harlow Ridge for Californian wines. We have an extensive distribution network and cover all segments, brick and mortar, food service, restaurants, luxury hotels, caterings, airlines on online platforms. The imported packaged food market is growing at up 10%, and this is the key growth categories include bakery. Bakery mainly is bread and biscuits, but cakes are a very prominent part of the bakery business. Sauces and you know, uh, I would say ready-to-eat foods are growing a lot. There, there is 140% growth in the last 3 years in the e-commerce business. E-commerce has grown to 400 to nearly 427 million consumers. This is what is expected by 2027. And the business in e-commerce is expected to grow to 300 billion in 2030. Let's talk about the bakery business, biscuits, confectionery. Uh, the bakery industry is expected to reach a big size, 12 billion US dollars in by next year. And in the last few years, we've seen that there is a demand for artisanal bread, gluten-free products, which were earlier not there in the Indian biscuits and confectionery market is witnessing a demand towards premium and healthier alternatives. And in fact, if you have been reading the Indian newspapers by chance, you would see that the big Indian biscuit producers have been having a slowdown in their sales, and they have all been complaining that the market is moving towards premium and healthier segment. Talking about alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages, the Indian beverage market is having a robust growth. Here, I would like to say that India is not a low price market, but a value-driven market. In that if the consumer sees that there is a value in a product, there is uniqueness, there is unique taste, that it is healthy, uh, he will pay the extra for that. Indians are now becoming very careful about consumption of sugar products, and this is because of high prevalence of diabetes, and so healthy products are, you know, catching the. As regards alcoholic beverages, the Indian market is much like the US market in that sense that just as there are each state of US has its own laws for alcohol, thus each state of India has its own laws for alcohol. Alcohol is a very complex and difficult market, and the customs duties are 150%. Then there is excise duties, registration, and so on. And what this really means is that a bottle which is US dollar one uh, X works would be around 12 to 14 US dollars in the retail store. I'll go on to the next slide now. This is a processed meat and poultry market. The processed meat market is mainly, I would say, chicken. And now we can see goat meat, mutton is also catching up. Pork is very little in the Indian market. It's not so popular. Fish and fish products are quite popular. And basically, Indians like to buy fresh, but now the processed meat market is growing. And India is, as you know, the largest exporter of sheep and goat, and also maybe the second or third largest exporter of beef. So it's not cow meat, but it is cara beef or buffalo beef. We'll go to the next one. Sauces and pastes are very popular in India. Indians are very fond of spicy food, and in Indian food itself is with a large range of spices. I don't mean to say that it's just hot with chili, but it has a range of flavors due to the different spices. And Indians love to have condiment sauces with at every meal, and their gravies are also very spicy. So here we see a lot of growth in the market. This is process packaged spices, packaged sauces, packaged gravies are growing not only in the metro cities but in tier two, tier three cities. Again, due to exposure through internet, through TV and social media. Premium food ingredients market was practically unknown about 25 years ago, but has now caught up and is growing very, very well. You could say premium ingredients like truffle oils, uh, you could say molecular in additives, uh, aged vinegars, artisanal spices. So there is a whole range of gourmet ingredients. We on our part, we are importing more than 400 different ingredients for which are all for the gourmet industry. Gourmet retail is going up. There are chains which start and then they sometimes they flounder, but gourmet food is very much there. Particularly now, people prefer to eat out in restaurants which are serving this kind of foods: Italian, Spanish, sorry, Thai. Chinese, I would say, cuisine is the most popular in India, of course, after Indian cuisines. And then we have the Italian cuisine, which has taken up the fancy of the Indian consumer. US exporters have got very good opportunities, and I think that they should look at India very closely. US products are well known, their brands are well known, their standards, food standards, the USDA food standards, are also well appreciated. The consumer appreciates that the product coming from US will be of high quality, and this is where the US should manufacturers should look at, exporting to India. Okay, we'll go on to the next one. So challenges in Indian market is very complex. There are very many challenges. There are high tariffs, complex import regulations. Consumers are very price sensitive. There is huge amount of competition. Practically every food is now can now be produced in India, and a lot of foods that were being imported earlier are now being produced in India, or they are being imported in bulk and packaged in India. So the challenge for the US exporter is to try and create awareness of their quality and authenticity of their foods. As I said, that the Indian market is really growing. There is a very big consumer base, and the consumer base is growing at about 10% or more every year. So you can say 10% would be 150 million Indians, or if you say 100 million Indians are entering into processed food consumers every year, which is a huge market. The government is supporting this with so many schemes. I would think that the American companies should not only be thinking of exporting, but they should also be thinking of doing food processing in India. For example, millets in India have become very popular. The government is pushing millets quite a bit as a healthy food, and US companies can consider that. What are the key takeaways? So here I would say that the first one is the opportunity, the huge consumer base, the consumer base which is growing. Not only is the consumer base growing, but their affordability is growing. So there is a 10% growth in the consumer base, there is a 10% growth in their affordability. At the same time, the Indian market remains very complex, price conscious. There are a lot of regulations, but all these can be overcome. So my advice to American exporters, or those who wish to export to India, is to find a good importer, a good import partner, and work with him to develop the market, not have a transactional approach, but to be in the market, in the relationship for a long period of time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anilji. I think that was very, very helpful. Uh, as I said, everyone, if, in case you have questions, please put them in the chat box and we'll get to it towards the end once all the speakers have spoken. Yash, may I now request you to take over the stage? Let me know if you want me to share your presentation. Otherwise, please feel free to share yours.
I'll share my screen. Am
Great.
I audible?
Thank you so much, Yash. Over to you.
Let me know if you can see the screen. Sachin?
We can't see the screen. Now we can.
Now you can. Okay.
Yeah, now we can. Yes,
All right.
yeah, great. You'll have to share your screen again, Yash.
Again?
Yep, yes, please.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
Tell me if you can.
Yeah, we can see it.
Right.
Thank you.
Yes. Good morning, everyone, and good evening to my friends in India. Um, I'm Yash, the founder and the CEO of this nuts and dry fruits company called Candor Foods. Quick background about myself. Uh, it's a third generation company into dried fruits, dates, and nuts. Dad happened to start this 45 years ago, and then this generation, the next generation is kind of carrying the legacy forward in new times. Uh, so a brief about our company quickly. We are one of the largest nut processing and private label companies in India. Um, we are based out of Mumbai, the western part of India, with close proximity to the port, uh, and Mumbai happens to be the financial capital of India. We have a few facilities which are BRC certified. Uh, Again, we are focused very much on nuts, dried fruits, dates, seeds, and we make a lot of value-added products in our factories. We do have very strong import relationships with over 19 countries, and we import most of the products. And we also enjoy the trust and partnership of a lot of international brands and companies, such as Al Baraka Dates, Marquee Macadamias from Australia, Honey Claim from Israel, from Oman, and also from United States, from the almond, from the almond processors, pistachio processors, um, and all the berries that grow up in the Northwest. The segments that our company focuses on is primarily modern retail, which is the supermarket chains in India. And that's a space that's growing at a very fast pace. We are B2B players, but we also have a great online presence on the e-commerce platforms. We do supply to some of our products to Horeca, um, and also are focused on gifting, corporate gifting, especially during the festivals. Um, so I think the great trends are adding on to what my friends Anil mentioned in his presentation. So I'll run through a few of them. Um, I think the processed food market in India and the major trends that we see is snacking is really catching up. The growth of the snacking sector and the ready to eat is grown significantly amongst the Indian consumers. Um, it's become a much more fast-paced life here in India, and then you're seeing a lot more consumption-driven growth for these food products. Also, there is a great awareness of health-oriented products. We do see the urban diseases in terms of diabetes, heart diseases, and obesity also kind of catching up in some of the cities. So you do see that there is a focus on health oriented products such as organic, low sugar, low sodium, high protein, high fiber kind of products, and recommended by most nutritionists to kind of include it in the diet. So we see these trends, and as food companies, we'd like to introduce all of these products into the consumer market. Um, Also, I think which has got a lot of attention, and that's what we're talking about today, is the imported food products. So there's great deal of interest now in international brands with with social media, with I think there's so much of brand awareness with amongst the youth, amongst the middle income group in India. I think the it's a lot more easier to sell premium imported foods into metro cities and tier one cities in India. How does the overall market look like? I think the overall packaged food industry, by some of the reports, was it's going to touch $70 billion by 2025, and has a very healthy growth rate of over close to 10% year on year. Major drivers, as discussed earlier, I think it's rising urbanization. We're creating more smart cities in India. The infrastructure is increasing, so I think there's a lot more penetration, accessibility to smaller towns and cities, increase in wages, more disposable income, per capita income is increasing overall in India, and of course, food is it's now much driven by influencers, uh, which are also driving the choices what people make, and accessibility due, from the other channels that are coming, which is supermarket chains and e-commerce. What are the key segments that we see in terms of processed foods and packaged foods is ready-to-eat meals, snacking, frozen foods, beverages. I think these are the fastest growing categories. Forgot to mention the chocolates as well, and I think we're seeing a lot more uh, access to pure chocolates now. So I think these are the key segments that one could look at for introducing products in India. What are the imported categories and which are the key players? Just an overview. I think in the snacking and confectionery, you have the savory snacks as well as chocolates, beverages, juice, energy drinks. We just had a launch of the Prime drink um, by in Mumbai just day before. So I think there are a lot of international brands who want to look at the Indian market and are launching their beverages and chocolates. Dairy cheese is in high demand. However, it's more of a regulated sector, but we do see international cheese and processed dairy products coming to India. Um, Growing market for instant meals, frozen meats, meat alternatives. I think they're great. Also seeing great market and growth in India. Global brands like Nestle, Mondelez, General Mills, PepsiCo, Kellogg's, Coke. I think they're very very well established players, but last 10 to 15 years, I've also seen a lot of homegrown players for ethnic snacking, like Haldiram's, Bikaji, and Britannia, ITC in the processed food area, who've seen a lot of traction. Do occupy a great market share, and have become really significant in terms of their business size in India. Market dynamics and consumer insights, I think so. A few of the things which you may have heard earlier, but I think overall consumers are becoming health conscious. Organic, which is organic, vegan, um, are catchwords that most consumers do look at. Um, I think the awareness and the regulations are increasing. Low sugar products, low sodium products are also easy pick from shelves. Um, Taste preferences. I think what Anil mentioned, I'll second that a lot of Indians have been traveling across the world. Um, the number is over 20, 25 million, and it's increasing. I think Indians are getting exposed to world flavors and cuisines. Um, we didn't see a lot many Japanese and Thai restaurants about 10 years ago, but now we see them as a part of regular, uh, you know, eating out, spots. So I think Indians have developed, a liking and open to flavors across the world, and we're adapting it as uh, things like wasabi flavors, sriracha, um, I think are in flavors now. So people are looking at at snacking with these flavors as well. Demographic impact, yeah, India has one of the youngest population. Median age is just about 26 years. And we also find multiple people within the same family kind of adding to the income. So the contribution to per family incomes have also increased, and it has been increasing every year. With most of the with most of the people actually working, we also see a lot more consumption, which is driven since everyone is kind of working and people eat out more, order in food, as well as shop online. So we're seeing a great impact of uh, just the occupation that people are in and the disposable income increasing. So I think these are major trends that we see. So again, the opportunity uh, again seconding what Anil mentioned. I think there's a clear shift to premiumization. So gourmet snacks, the number of gourmet stores that have opened up in the last 4 to 5 years has been exponential, and also focused on health food products. I think there's a lot more acceptance now overall. Rising middle class, as I said, disposable income, lifestyles become a little, with both parents actually working. I think there's a lot more ordering at home. So I think we're seeing a greater spend there, and of course, e-commerce to assist easy shopping and availability. Quick commerce, I think, is it's worth to mention. Quick commerce has caught up really well in the last 1 year. 10-minute delivery, 15-minute delivery is kind of moving the needle quite a bit, and you're seeing the Indian consumers hop on to that, and it's been greatly accepted. So I think we're going to find a lot many brands come in, and it's a great sales channel. So for quick deliveries. Let's look at specific sectors. Snacking and breakfast cereals. It's a $14 billion market size in India, and I think it's again growing at a 10 plus percent year on year. And it's I think the reasons what you mentioned earlier is this is driven by busier lifestyles, urbanization. Um, but we also see a lot more healthy options available. Slightly different compared to what you see in the US, but I think it's going to the cereal market in India is I think 10 years ago you would just see a few shelves of cereals, either from Kellogg's or some of the local brands. And the last that I visited a supermarket chain, you could actually see a complete aisle of cereals. So I think it just shows the acceptance of breakfast cereals as people including that as a part of their regular breakfast. So again, what people look at is are nuts included in it, different flavors, low sugar, extra fiber. I think they're kind of accepting different options for cereals. Convenience food again as a part of snacking is the grab and go snack bars, ready to eat trail mixes. I think have caught on really well, and we're seeing great demand in whether it's on airlines, whether it's on train stations, on metro stations, while riding the bus. I think I think you're seeing a lot more healthier options kind of be available in all of these point of sales. Um, the flavors, of course, I think great fusion flavors. Most of you who have had Indian foods, um, will be pretty surprised as well as happy to taste some of the Indian flavors, and they're pretty addictive, I would say. Let's look at the sector that we focus on. That's dried fruits and nuts. We're valued at about $8 billion in terms of the retail market size, and we are expected to grow 9%. with increasing preference to premium and nutritious options, India by far is one of the best markets for very high quality products. The the usual suspects are, of course, almonds, pistachios, cashews, walnuts, which kind of lead the demand. But there are other nuts, like pecans, um, macadamias, which have kind of gotten traction, easily available through e-commerce and supermarket chains. We also see a varieties of dried fruits, berries, seeds, kind of finding space in the regular grocery shopping for most of the consumers. Again, we see that there is a great deal of health focus, high nutrition, convenient snacking, um, adding interesting trail mixes with flavors. I think all of that kind of goes, blends really well with dried fruits and nuts. Um, and I think one of the other interesting part is also the shift from unorganized to organized way of uh, moving. The business is moving from the unorganized to organized. I think that poses a great opportunity for international brands, and companies who are looking at moving into India. So I think that's going to make business a little easier, uh, for you guys. Gifting is also a part of our culture, like in the US and like in every other place. But during seasonal, we do find a lot of gifting for dried fruits and nuts and chocolates. Um, yeah, and also dried fruits is a pretty common phenomena in terms of wedding gifting. So I think we're right in the festival season in India, so we see a huge demand. All right. So also on food ingredients, while dried fruits and nuts are also a part of some of the ingredients in India, but we do see a lot of natural flavors, sweeteners, food colors. You you now have almost all international companies um, mm, like Jivodan and Kerry all entered into the Indian market for and bringing great flavors and options for the Indian consumers. Um, and then uh, and as Anil was also mentioning, I think you have great manufacturing facilities also built in India. So a lot many companies do prefer to partner with manufacturers in India and then co-produce it for the Indian market. I think it gives you a price leverage. At the same time, it also helps mitigate some of the regulatory issues that the regulators have kind of put in place. Um, yeah, a little bit on the health and specialty foods. I think we're seeing gluten-free, vegan meat alternatives, uh, sustainable products, sustainable farming. Is also something that a few of the brands in India are kind of highlighting. We do see this right now at the metro cities, which are about seven of them in India, and amongst the younger population. But I think it's going to penetrate into the tier one, tier two cities as the decade passes. Um, Finally, what are the opportunities that we see? And of course, the challenges that we have for our US partners. The opportunities is clear. I think India, the demographics, the increase in per capita income, and a significant shift and access to products through very democratic platforms such as e-commerce, where anyone can come and sell, uh, and go online and be available almost on a click of a button. I think poses a great opportunity for US products and brands. Um, we also have a great preference to quality. I think Indian uh, Indian consumers are value seekers, of course, but there is definitely a premium that they'd like to pay for a product which is high on quality and is also packaged in a food safe environment. The key categories that we see great potential over the coming years is, of course, dried fruit, snacks, dairy alternatives, and specialty health foods. Challenges: high import tariffs, uh, India does have prohibitive tariffs for international foods, especially the processed ones. So it could be advisable if any of you are looking at uh, mm, the Indian market in a very serious way in terms of growing business. You may have to have a local partner to help you produce some of the products if the business makes if the business is viable in that sense. Regulatory compliance is definitely a challenge because you're navigating through the FSSAI and some unique labeling requirements which we have here in India in terms of more information to be put on the pack. Um, and local competition, of course. So India does have a beautiful blend of domestic brands as well as foreign brands, and I think it is a challenge. But I think it's a good thing for consumers having local and international brands together. So yeah, I think that's what I'd like to share with the audience today.
Thank you so much, Yash. Was wonderful listening to your thoughts and really great insights on some of the sectors. I agree. India has a wealth of opportunities, uh, and we'll in fact get to hear some more from Saurabh. So, Saurabh, handing over to you to hear more about the commodity sector.
Yes, I'll just share my screen and
Sure.
start. Yeah.
Saurabh, we can see your screen.
Yeah. Um, uh, Good morning, good evening, everyone. I'm here to discuss the opportunities in India. I am Saurabh Bhasin, the director of Mega Grain Trading Company Limited. So let's start. So just looking at the overall processed food products market in India, there's a very high growth potential with the process job creating potential and adding so many jobs. The export share is going high from year to year. It has already increased from 13% to 23% over the last decade. There's a issue that is faced in the process rates for fruits, vegetables, and other foods remain lower than the global standards, which needs to be looked into. So, and now the vision for the government is that they're pushing a lot to increase the processed fruit and vegetable products over time. And if you talk about the investment and the demand, it is going up quite fast with $33 billion invested by the FDI, and with the online grocery growth and digital payments, it's becoming easier. The demand is going higher. Then if you come to uh, the spending, we see in India there's 35 to 40% of the consumer spending is on food, and now the consumers are becoming more health conscious. They want nutrient rich food, immunity boosting foods. Seeing our atmosphere and the pollution levels in many of our cities, and many people are shifting to the packaged products, which offer more hygiene products, and no, and they're moving from the loose and the non-branded options. And we are seeing that the packaged food projected growth is very, very high with the change in the lifestyles and the upcoming e-commerce. We can see the key product segments like rice, pasta, bread, noodles, cereals, oils, ready to eat foods, dairies, snacks are really growing. And the plant-based foods, this is a really interesting change in the consumption pattern in India. There's more demand and knowledge of plant-based foods, mock meats, Ayurvedic boosters, and even sports nutrition products. So this is a small introduction about our company. We at Mega Grain are a prominent player in the agri commodity trade sector. which includes all types of grains, rice, pulses, spices, edible oils, dry fruits, cereals. With an experience of over 36 years, we are offering high quality goods and comprehensive trading services. We have uh, network spans in various countries, and we have been associated with US companies for over 20 years now with a very good partnership. And we focus on a robust supply chain of rice, pulses, and to ensure the quality and reliability, and use of digital technologies and AI-based systems to streamline import-export processes so everything becomes transparent. So we also offer services like quality inspections, document verification, facilitates seamless trades in the transactions through our online platform. So that helps us increase the innovation in every stage. So now coming to the imported processed and packaged fruit products in India, now it is, as mentioned in the previous slides, it's a rapid market growth. With the rapid urbanization, rising disposable incomes, and the preferences changing, and this includes the packaged foods, health conscious products, international cuisines, which Mr. Yash, Mr. Anil have mentioned, and along with that, the retail and e-commerce impact, which is really changed the whole market altogether. So some of the um, now the urbanization, higher incomes, and health conscious products, we need to be more emphasizing on that. And coming to the cereals, grains, and pulses, uh, India is the staple diet includes wheat, rice, and pulses. And with the population growing at an enormous level, and the urbanization and the rising income levels, the the people go for the healthier options of rice and pulses. Along with that, India is the largest importer of pulses in the world. So that's a big opportunity because India requires much more of pulses than it actually grows with a huge population. In that, the government tries to support the growing in minimum by the MSP and the National Food Security Mission. So that helps the growing. Along with that, there's a big growing interest in ready-to-cook cereals, organic products, and processed grains. So now the main aspect is that how can US suppliers gain from this? So the US suppliers should target the niche and the premium products like quinoa, barley, millets. Indian consumers are increasingly interested in importing specialty grains for their health benefits. As we see, we have been dealing in many chickpeas, lentils, peas from the US for so many years, and it is the quality that the US pulses offers us that really puts US and other countries in a separate league altogether. And with the largest vegetarian population in the world, we are seeing that pulses and grains will always have their special place in the market in India. So, and along with that, there's a growing demand for ready-to-eat and breakfast cereals. And as Mr. Yash mentioned, it has grown a lot. Rising interest in organic and non-GMO cereals and pulses for health-conscious consumers. So that's where the US stands apart when they can supply certified organic grains. And along with that, the US companies can partner with Indian firms for technology transfer, agricultural practices, and there are so many investment opportunities in modern storage, processing, supply chain infrastructure. Coming to the overview of the edible oil and the vinegar market in India. India has a high consumption of edible oil with the growing change in the lifestyles. The major oils consumed are palm oil, soybean oil, sunflower, mustard oil, and groundnut oil. Now there's becoming a shift in the oil demands, and they are people are demanding new different types of oils like olive oil, rice bran oil, and blended oils, which offer better health benefits. And there's also an upcoming demand of cold pressed oils and oils with functional benefits like iolic, sunflower oil, and flaxseed oil. So another important factor is India imports over 60% of its edible oil requirements, mainly palm oil from Indonesia, Malaysia, and soybean and sunflower oils from the Argentina, Brazil, and Ukraine. So there's a big need for diversification of supply sources with the geopolitical factors which are going on in the world and it's changing world. And along with that, there's an emerging vinegar market. The vinegar consumption is on the rise. It's used in cooking, the health applications, and increased popularity of international cuisines. Apple cider vinegar and balsamic vinegar are gaining popularity because of the health benefits. So now the US suppliers have a big opportunity in for oils in India because the products like extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, and other high quality oils are of growing interest. Because India being a very big having a very big vegetarian population, omega-3 is a very important ingredient in an oil. The antioxidants, vitamins, and health conscious consumers, it helps a lot. The organic and non-GMO oils, the increasing consumer preference for organic and non-GMO products offers US suppliers a very good opportunity to introduce certified organic oils in India. And the blended oils and the functional oils, the US suppliers offer innovative blends of sunflower, olive oil, rice bran, coconut oil. This is has a very big and by giving knowledge to the consumers about the health benefits for this can really come in a big way. Coming to the vinegar segment, as said before, the US suppliers of apple cider vinegar, balsamic vinegar, white wine vinegar can capitalize on the rising health and culinary trends, making it a very good product to bring into India. Now the feedstock market in India, seeing this, India's livestock sector is expanding, driven by the rising demand for dairy, poultry, and meat products. India's use of compound feed in dairy, poultry, and aquaculture industries. Key feed ingredients are maize, soya meal, wheat bran, rice bran, oilseed cakes, soya meal, and maize for poultry feed, while oilseed cakes are used for cattle feed. India being the fifth largest producer of animal feed, with significant growth of poultry and eggs. The feed mills are concentrated in Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, and Haryana. Now the challenges is the fluctuating prices of the feed ingredients like maize and soya meal due to inconsistent domestic production. So that brings an opportunity in imports for certain ingredients, especially the high protein and the feed and additives. Now, for the opportunities for the US suppliers. Now, high quality feed ingredients. US, as we know, offers good high quality maize, soya meal, and other protein rich feed ingredients like oilseed cakes, soya meal, wheat bran, rice bran, oilseed cakes, feed additives and supplements, increasing use of feed additives, amino acids, vitamins, enzymes for improving livestock productivity. The US companies can especially offer this to enhance animal health and performance. Along with that, the US suppliers can introduce advanced feed processing technologies, machinery, the collaboration in developing high nutrition, cost-effective feed formulations. Aquaculture growth. Rapid expansion of India's aquaculture industry presents a growing market for specialized fish feed. US suppliers can tap into this segment with nutritionally optimized fish meal and feed. Collaborations with Indian feed manufacturers and distributors can facilitate the market entry. They should find good partners and go forward. Now, overall, the opportunities for US suppliers. Now, India is the most populated nation in the world and also growing very fast. So it is the biggest consumer in the world. There's strong economic momentum with the 6.9% GDP growth and projected high household spending. So that is again driving food consumption. Rapid urbanization in India and supported by modern retail networks, making imported foods easily available to the population. We have domestic agricultural challenges, including water scarcity, soil degradation, climate change impacts, rural urban migration, the land shifting, the agricultural land getting yeah, decreasing day by day. And there's growing sophistication of consumer demand combined with rising disposable income, making India an attractive destination for high quality US agriculture exports. Infrastructure and distribution networks evolving rapidly to support efficient movement of all food products coming in, and it can reach to every corner of the country. Now, there are challenges along with that, and there's competition. So the supply chain inconsistent supply chain, sometimes delays in customs clearance, infrastructure gaps can disrupt the product availability and increase cost. Cultural preferences is another big issue. Like Indian consumers have a strong regional food preference. To change the food preference will take some time. So that will come with knowledge about the product in intense local competition. Imported packaged food products face stiff competition from local manufacturers who offer similar options at lower prices, often with greater cultural alignment and familiarity. The last but not the least is the trade barriers. Various import tariffs imposed by our government from time to time really create big barriers. And the lack of stable import policies is creating a big challenge for all exporters from other countries. So I really thank you for allowing me to speak in this webinar. And it's never too late to look at India as a great consuming market.
Thank you so much for that, Saurabh. I think this was really, really valuable. We already have a question from the audience in terms of US organic products being permitted into India. Yash or Saurabh, would one of you like to take that?
Mr. Yash is
No,
or
sorry.
organic. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I thought you were taking, sir.
No, I think on terms of organic, India has its. The last that we were inquiring was India has an NPOP kind of certification, and I believe US standards is NOP. So if you need to export something out, an organic produce, you will have to have an NPOP certification, and maybe have an audit agency who can audit the processor and the farms there, and then submit the certification in India as well. So I don't know the latest about what APIDA has agreed to with regards to organic. Sort of if you have any more information on that, Sachin.
No further information at this time. We can definitely find out and get back to.
As far as I know, imports of organic products are not permitted in India. They
Just
will
to
not.
add, go ahead, Avilji.
Yeah, they will not pass the food safety uh, standards. I mean, their requirements. They do not permit organic import of organic foods.
Just to add to what Anil, Yash, and Saurabh said, there is a slight slightly different requirement for product that's going to be re-exported back to the US or a different country. But generally, what Yash ji sort of general said is the frame of rule over here. Any other questions from any audience members for our panelists today? And Chloe, I'm going to hand this over to you now.
All right. Well, if there's no more questions, we'll make sure to follow up via email with everyone's contact information. And as a reminder, this webinar was recorded, so we'll make sure to post it on our website. But thank you to everyone, including our speakers, for joining today. It's very insightful to learn more about India and how US companies can export their products. So thank you so much.